is no longer in the playoffs. Didn't even make the playoffs. Like, does that make you really sad? Did it make you want to cry? Really? Are you sure?
No, the team was not here. I said that repeatedly.
Okay. Because
How's Sacramento doing?
are we doing fine? We're exactly where we thought we were going to be, so we all right. But we didn't have the greatest player ever, so we all right though. All right. I just want to make sure you're okay before we start the show, and that you don't need consoling or anything like that.
No, I'm good.
No. All right. All right. Well, then let's start the show.
Let's do it.
All right, fine. I'll be a gracious host. How you doing?
Little Mermaid is the scariest Disney movie by far, though.
Why the hell is Ace Blade in your Kickstarter?
Some comics. I'm getting controversial today. We're gonna get controversial today with.
My proudest moment is this interview and being able to talk to you two.
All right, let's get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Taurus Comics in collaboration with I know. Let me start over that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Taurus Comics in collaboration with Fourth Wall Productions proudly brings to you the Four Tales podcast. I am your host, Kyron Silver from Man. Bruh. I am your host, Kyron Silver from Taurus Comics. Across the way is the creamy curator of Ace Blade, Danny J. Quick, and together we are your two award-winning blurred comic creators, here to help you find your next favorite comic. We are live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and a host of other programs. So if you are listening or watching us live, thank you for your support. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and review this podcast, because all your positive reviews and interaction help us reach a bigger audience. I'm done for what was that? I can't even see what you put up just now.
That was a very good intro. It was very spirited and and it was live, and it you got through it eventually.
I can't see who that is.
Jimmy
Palmani
from Monster Comics. I think he looks like Razor Ramon though. But anyway, how you doing, man? Happy birthday! Congratulations on funding StarCorp, man. How's it going?
I don't know. It's been a whirlwind of things, so I don't know, man. Thank you for everybody out there that did support the Kickstarter. This is an amazing feat, and but we still have a week to go, which is the funny thing. We still have one more week to fund even more.
Yep.
I'm gonna try to do a stretch goal, maybe 2, depending on how well we do. But yeah, we got some time. So if you want to back the Kickstarter still, you can. Just go to tccreates.com. I'll put that in the show notes and in the chat. And, check it out. Make a pledge, because we just funded. And, sometimes people back out the last moment, or, their funding doesn't go through. So we want to make sure we have a little bit extra just in case. You know how it is.
Hey, got an idea for that stretch goal.
Okay.
StarCorp versus Ace Blade.
Okay.
The poster.
Okay. Are you gonna draw it?
No, I'm not.
All right, wait. But you're drawing the Ace Blade and Ace Blade cover for Ace Blade Cream, right?
Yeah,
creamy Ace Blade. Is extra fluffy, creamy Ace Blade. What is it called?
I don't get why people don't know. To me, I guess because we're black, we know Cream is Cash Rules Everything Around Me from Wu-Tang, right? But literally 60% of the people who've read it don't know where that came from. And I think that's one of the frustrating things about being black and making comics, is that you are to say things that people don't understand. So it's frustrating when the central theme of the next 5 books that I'm making is Cash Rules Everything Around Me, and I'm pulling it from a Wu-Tang reference. Wu-Tang to me is one of the biggest, hip hop groups ever, and
True,
there's a
true.
large portion of the world that has no clue what that means. So now I get all the jokes, creamy Ace Blade, and I'm like, bro, y'all, how do y'all not get it? So it's just part of the thing that we always have to do in educating people.
Yeah,
So
yeah. We also got to consider a couple of things. It's been what, 20 years since that came out?
yes,
25. So you got that time issue, and honestly, the first thing people think about when they saw those images that you're posting were like Magic Mike and Pornhub and stuff. I mean, everything that you drew and brought up just looked like this was X-rated time with Ace Blade.
Well, that was an accident.
Well,
But we're not here to talk about us.
No, we are going to talk about it, because then you put a second image up with him just crotch out. just the whole image was centered around his crotch and him just sitting there with his legs spread open, like, hey, look at this. I'm black, and you could tell.
Listen, I have no explanation. I'm just trying my hardest to market and spread the news about Ace Blade.
Spread, that's right. That's a good way. That's a nice way to put it.
And I was actually thinking about doing a thirst trap series for Ace Blade. You know how people are lusting over Robin or Nightwing right now. I was thinking about doing an old thirst trap series. I was gonna get Greg Anderson to pose, and then do his poses as Ace Blade, and do a whole thirst trap.
Mail him the mask.
Yeah,
just mail him the mask and then be like, pose. All right, so wait. Now everybody thirsts over Nightwing's butt. So what are you gonna focus on for Ace Blade then? Chest, arms, legs, what?
I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead yet. I didn't actually develop the idea, but I don't know. Okay. I'd ask my wife. Whatever my wife says is okay.
And I feel a little down that you didn't ask me first to pose. I mean, what are you trying to say? Or Morgan? What's going on, man? I mean, what?
Hey, I did ask Morgan. Refuses. Morgan's put on some weight, just like me. I put on weight. So I refuse to be. I refuse on put on this costume also. So I'm not doing it.
All right. We have a comment here. Wu-Tang has a global fan base. Seek their audience that is already established. Partner with Wu-Tang affiliated groups.
Sharon, that's my guy, Sharon James. He used to, he was in public affairs with us, but that's a good idea. I need to reach out to Wu-Tang Actual, because they love animation, cartoons, martial arts, all that kind of stuff.
And you can find Wu-Tang groups. Go to Reddit. Probably there's like a Wu-Tang board there. Morning, Javon. Javon's in the building.
Write that
down. You gonna write all now? You gonna write down things? All right. Don't you? Do you not have like a notepad app on your computer?
Sticky notes.
Brother, man, you killing
me. It's a tactile thing. If I physically run, I will remember it. It's how my brain works. Shut up.
All right. So if you haven't guessed right now, we are sort of stalling because we're waiting on our guest. So we're trying to see what's going on, but he says he's going to hop on. Today's guest is Task, writer of the comic book Leader of the Free World. I think they recently came out with issue 3. That's because Danny is old. Yes, Danny is old. Danny's probably one of the few people still in the United States that still gets a physical newspaper delivered to his house. And he probably also gets excited when he gets like the yellow and white pages.
I think Javon is older than me, though. Javon's got me by a year. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Wait, all of us are old now. Look at you. See the gray. You see the gray here in my beard. I see the gray in your beard.
Yeah,
it's that's what it is.
Oh man, we're all young at heart. That's why we still make comics, and we love to do this, even though we don't get any money from this.
Exactly. Shoot. So tell me the journey of I've been having a hard time.
Wait, did you see that?
I've been having a hard time, bro.
I thought this was an actual comment first. I was like, wait, what?
I've been having a hard time promoting this comic book, man. Like I feel like the first 5 books, well, not the first, but 2 through 5 were easier to promote than this book by far, even though now I have a way larger audience or a way larger social media imprint than I did before. Like I'm having trouble getting people to sign up page, the notify me page. I'm having trouble kind of getting views on videos that talk about Ace Blade right now. How was your experience promoting StarCore? Because I know it can be kind of difficult, especially when people know you for one thing. I think your biggest property is Saw. So if people with that and you try to promote something else, how's that experience been?
That's a good question. Actually, let's ask our guest that.
Okay.
So if you're okay with having
Yeah.
maybe because he also has his insight also. So
Absolutely.
what is going on, sir?
Hello. How we doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm okay. I do want to apologize for being behind. It's 7 a.m. here in California, and
Yes,
I was
sir.
set up to do this, and then the wife was like, "Take that outside."
Oh, no, I feel you.
I was like, "Wait, they're like about to start," and she was like, "I don't care. I'm still asleep. Go outside." And
I'm same thing, dude.
Tell wifey we apologize, man. I have to do the show. I have to do the show this early because I'm on the East Coast, and I got a little job here that I got to do during the day, so I got to do it this early. So that was my one on the podcast. So
wait, we've been doing this for a year, and you never said apologize to my wife for waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. What the hell?
You never told me she had a problem with it. I mean, I thought she preferred you to get up early and cook.
Let's see. Hold up. I feel like I'm losing connection. See, this is. I'm sorry, y'all.
No, it's cool, man.
The wife was like, "Go outside of the car," and it's raining.
It is raining hard. Where are you at? Like what city in Cali? I think we lost him.
We can't hear him now. Yeah, we can't hear you now. I can hear the rain, though. I can hear you.
Man, you know what? Wait, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I apologize once again. Thank you for having me, but yeah, the wife made me go outside.
That's cool, man. We just appreciate you being on.
Thank you for having me.
So what part of California are you in right now?
I'm in Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I've been here pretty much my whole life. What's that?
Y'all are right down the street from each other. I'm surprised y'all haven't run into each other more.
Who does? Well, like who?
Me. I'm in Sacramento also.
What the hell?
Which is weird because I've been doing comics now for like 7 years, and I don't think I've ever run into you at any of the events here in the area.
I'm not the most social person, so I haven't started. I haven't gone to cons, nothing yet, but I need to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, for anyone that isn't familiar with your books, because you have 3 books out right now for Leaders of the Free World, tell us what it's about.
Yes.
Give us the pitches and everything on it.
So basically, I've always been a fan of superheroes. I used to help run a comic book shop. Since you're in Sacramento, you probably know about it. Empire's Comics.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I worked with Ben there for years, so I fell in love with superheroes, and I wanted to do my own superhero comic, but how do I say this? I didn't want it to just be like the Avengers. I wanted to represent the world that I am currently in. And when you're in California, in Sacramento, it's kind of like blending pot. Like we got all types of people here: black, white, Asian, Latino, the whole nine. And so when I wanted to make my own team, I wanted it to reflect what I see here, and I didn't want them to just be just a new team. We're gonna just be superheroes. I wanted there to be a story to like why they're together. The free world are in a world where it is elite for superheroes to operate outside of their country. So there was a big world war where all the superpower beings around the world were fighting for power, and the world decided enough. Everyone just operates where they're at, and that's it. So the world was very divided, and I wanted to present a situation where the heroes had to come together, like the whole planet, like these individuals all represent a different country, a different culture, and they're forced to come together. And that's why it's called Leaders of the Free World, because they are, uniting the whole world to combat one villain.
Okay. Now, before you hopped on, Danny was asking because about Kickstarters and getting the hype up for Kickstarters. You funded, if I'm not mistaken, you funded all your books through Kickstarter. So have you found it difficult at times to get people to look at your project through Kickstarter and getting that hype up before you launch a project?
That is a great question. I have a saying that I tell people because people ask me all the time about it. I know my man Danny Quick knows about it. Kickstarter ain't for punks. It ain't for punks, man. Like when you got to be different. You got to sell yourself to the point where it almost gets embarrassing at times. Like someone will be talking to me about something, I'll be like, haha, that's funny. Anyways, here's my Kickstarter.
No, it's true.
Like you gotta get people to care, and the best thing I tell people in the Kickstarter. What was that? Oh, I thought you said you gotta, when it comes to Kickstarter, I always tell people, don't get them to invest in your book. Get them to invest in you and what you're doing, and that will help them like propel. Because you can have greatest ideas, but if nobody likes you, then time. But it's worth it.
That's a fact, man. I think that's especially for indie creators. You literally have to, because nobody knows these characters yet. Nobody knows, nobody knows Ace Blade. Nobody knows Starcore. Nobody knows the leaders of the new world. The leaders of the free world. It's almost have to get people interested. Like you said, you got to get them interested in who you are and what you're doing, and then eventually, hopefully, the goal is we care about the characters enough that takes over. You know what I'm saying? So then eventually, once the audience is big enough for the character, then you can kind of step back and let the character shine. But you got to be a salesman first. You got to go out there and tell people what it's about. And that's one of the reasons I opened this store up, because it's something that the local community can kind of get behind. So absolutely
That's
agree
dope,
with
man.
you on that. But one thing I was asking Kyron about, I think there's a thank you. I think there's a added thing to it because, like I was saying, the next Ace Blade series is called Cream. Cash rules everything around me, and we know.
Mhm.
Shut up, Kyron. And we know what cream means. We know the song. We know where it comes from. But I've been seeing as I've been trying to promote it that there's a lot of people that acronym stands for, and Kyron brought up a good point. You know, it's 20 old. You know, Wu-Tang can be kind of niche, have an international audience. So there's also, and then on top of that, a lot of my audience here in the local community who don't read comics. So there's a
Yeah,
whole other education aspect that you do to teach people and get people involved. And that's another hurdle that you have to overcome. Is that something that you've seen with your books too?
absolutely. Well, I've been reading comics my whole life. It's still, how do I say this? There's always been black nerds and comic readers, but I don't believe that it's at the level it is now. And now a lot of the black community are trying to get invested, um, but it's easy. So that's why it's important for people like us to show, our fellow brothers and sisters that, it's okay to like these things. It's okay to get involved, and we should all support each other, like what you guys are doing now. Um, I'm shocked about the Wu Tang thing, but I guess the brand of Wu Tang is bigger than the music.
Yeah, I
And
agree. I
so,
agree.
like, people know Wu Tang, but they probably won't be able to name all the songs. Like, so I can see that 100%. One thing I will say, especially in the black indie comic creator community, I feel like we're very open to each other, and we're all about supporting each other. So that is something that I'm proud to be a part of.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's weird. Thursday, I was doing a event at the Crocker Art Museum. It was the first Crocker Con, which is a combo convention inside the art museum, and
You
it's the first
said
time they've had it in
Crocker?
Crocker Con,
Crocker.
CROCK. What do you
Crocker
think I
Con.
said?
Okay. I was just clarifying. I was just making sure.
It's an art museum here in Sacramento, dude. It's an art museum here in
Okay.
Sacramento.
Okay, cool.
And every year they used to do a comic convention inside the art museum. So you get to see all the art, plus you got to see vendors and art. Anyways, on Thursday I was there and I actually got to do a panel with a couple other black creators here in the area. And that's one of the things we talked about how in the black community, especially when we were growing up, probably in the 80s and 90s, being into comic books was not something you outwardly tell people. Like it was a little bit of a hush hush. I gotta keep this on the down low. But I think the idea, and we talked about this on the panel, that the idea of the internet and social media having this wide spectrum of people that you can see, both black, white, Asian, whatever, allowed you to be more comfortable with that now. It allowed you to see, hey, it's not just me. It's just there's hundreds and thousands of us here in the city. Um, as you've created comics, is that something that you're seeing now that people are more open and more willing to say, "Hey, I love comics"? Is that something that you've noticed too?
Absolutely. Um, I tell people all the time that, contrary to popular belief, um, this stuff, people did not talk about it the way they do now. And uh, now it's become easier. And I think that the comic book movie and just the stuff that Marvel and DC are doing, it's becoming easier for people to just say, okay, I'm into this stuff now. And that's making it easy stuff like us. The thing that you mentioned, the Crocker Museum, I actually helped get that going. a part of the first one
Nice.
that they did. Me, Ben from comics, the guys from A1 Comics. We kind of started getting that going. It was very small when we started about 8 years ago. So I'm glad to see it's still going. I've become a hermit, and I don't leave, but that's something I feel like I really need to start being part of. So
You do,
that's
man.
good to know that that's still going.
We took up both the first and second floor of the entire museum on Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's gotten
That's
real
dope.
big. They
That's
had to
good,
limit
man.
people because of the rain, so it would have been even bigger. It's pretty huge. You know?
Man, I got to be a part of that. I need to get out of my shell. I just, in my older age, and then I started a family, and I've just been on that and doing the comic stuff on the side. But I just need to start doing more things for me, like that. So that's good to know.
It's funny you say that about needing to get back out, because I think I've been following you on Twitter for maybe 2-3 years, and I think last month was the first time I ever saw your face. Like, I don't think I ever saw your
Really?
face. I don't think I ever saw your face on Twitter, and this year sometimes. And I don't know if it's just because I only see like the replies that you reply to people, controversial stuff that that pops up on your page, and the little fights and stuff. But I think it's important. I mean, especially now that the world is opening back up, it might be good to get out and
Yeah.
and do some events if if you have time. I know I still got friends who we're doing shows 2-3 times a month who they just don't feel comfortable going out yet. So, and that's completely understandable.
Yeah. But that's something I need to break because the world is opening up, and us creators, we have something to say, and it's time that people listen to us. So we have to make the first step to do that.
No, since Danny brought up your Twitter, I do want to focus on that a bit because you're very heavy on Twitter. That's definitely, it feels like that's your bread and butter when it comes to interacting with your audience. But when I check things like your Instagram and other social media, you're very light. Do you feel like, because I've always said you have to find the social media platform that works for you and honestly just milk it as best as possible. Danny is huge on TikTok and he's really great with that. I'm pretty good on Facebook. But do you feel that same way that if you have a good social media fan base, milk that as much as possible? And I don't mean that in a cruel way, but milk that and build your audience that way? Or do you feel like you should really just spread it around?
You have to find what works for you. You should definitely try to use everything, but if you notice that you appeal more to one audience, what you can do is use your other platforms to bring them over there and vice versa. That's something that I admit that I need to get better at. I should probably have TikTok myself and things like that. I just started getting heavy on Instagram. That's something I should have been more a part of. Like I said, I can admit my faults and things that I could get better at, and spreading it around the promo is definitely one of them because there's just stuff on Instagram. People are like, and I for years, I'm not good at the promo and stuff. That was just something that I definitely need to start doing. But yeah, if I could give any advice to anybody, use everything. But if one, we're all different people, so if one works the best for you, like you said, just milk it, just go for there, and probably try to get everyone to go to that one where you're the most popular.
Nice. Okay. Now, you did mention earlier that you worked with Ben at Empire's Comic Book, which is my favorite comic shop in Sacramento. they are a big supporter of indie comics, and Ben is always willing to put in books in there that aren't from Marvel DC, and even not even from Sacramento. I've seen Greg Elisi's book. It's NASA. Yeah, I can't. It's not out of the world spider there. Um, do you ever feel like you need to reach out to stores to sell your books, or do you feel very comfortable just doing it on your own?
God, you got good questions. Real quick.
That's what we do here. We get good questions all the time.
I like that energy. Well, me and Ben did a comic together. I wonder
Yes,
if
you
he still
did.
sells it.
I have it.
Oh, you have it?
I have it. I read it with your Monkey King story in it, right? Yeah.
Wow, he still has that.
I don't know how many
That's
copies
so
he
old.
has, but yeah, I bought a copy a couple years ago.
Nice. Yeah, that was we did that fun. We were just like all talking one day store, and we were like, dude, why don't we just do this ourselves, and stuff like that. So it ended up doing well. And shout out to Ben. We went separate ways, but it's still always love. I was there when the shop was on Arden, and
Before the
there
fire.
was a big fire. What was that?
Yeah, before the fire.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was when I was there when before they expanded. When we first opened that shop, it was just one door store, but then the place next door shut down, and they offered for him to take over both sides, and so I helped get that going. So that's good for him. I haven't, you know, I should contact Ben and ask him, let him know I need to definitely start expanding in the Sacramento area. I've been shunned out here. Not really shunned, but when I started doing the comic book thing and working in the comic book shop, I had to deal with a lot of racism out here. Probably, and this happened at Ben's shop. Ben was asking me to help do bag and boards, and one of the customers said, "Get to work, Toby."
Wow.
Man, Danny just shook his head mad quick. He's like, "Nah, son. Yeah, nah, son." And that I just had so many different situations like that jaded me to the local community. Ben was very support. He supported me in that situation. And it's not his fault. I felt like this community doesn't accept me, and that jaded me for years. And so I pulled out and I started doing the rap thing. And now that I'm mad old, as you can see from the grades, I'm like, I'm not doing that anymore. We had fun. Matter of fact, at the first Crocker con, they asked me to rap.
Wow. I need video of that.
No!
I'm going to find that video.
We're going to find it.
You know what?
Yes.
The internet is a place. They will find my old videos that I don't even know exist. I'm like, wait, where did you get this?
Between Twitter and YouTube, I'm sure it's out there somewhere.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
I know some folks.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find it. If I can find it before I post the podcast, I'll post it in the show notes.
Oh no. I have a lot of trolls because that's just what comes with being on Twitter. They have found all the videos. They've posted it. I'm like, oh my god, where did you guys find this? Oh man. But that's something else that I include in my comic. I'm a big anime fan as well. And one of my favorite animes was Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. The creator is big on combining elements with music, Like for example, Cowboy Bebop was space sci-fi with jazz, and Samurai Champloo was rural Japanese samurais and hip hop. So that's kind of how I write my stuff. I listen to music when I write, and the songs that inspire me, I put them in the comics. So while people are reading, they'll just see like a song playlist on the bottom. And one thing that I've learned from doing that, I have a lot of international readers who aren't up on hip hop like we are, and they've contacted me and told me they appreciate it because they're discovering new rap. Like in Saudi Arabia, he told me he's now a big Gangstar fan.
Nice.
He said he never heard of Gangstar, and I can imagine that they wouldn't play that out there. And so yeah, he got their whole thing. He said he learned that from me because I put Above the Clouds on my list on the first issue. So just things like that. It's the comic community. I don't want to say like the whole world, but in the local area, they weren't the kindest to me in the 2000s, and it kind of shunned me, and I had like PTSD about it. Like I'm like, if I go out there, if someone calls me Toby again, I'm gonna set it off. But I definitely need to start getting more out there.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you do, because it's gotten better. I haven't experienced a lot, at least in the last couple of years, about stuff like that. But it's definitely gotten better.
Good.
And if you come across that, we stick up with each other. Let somebody know. We got your back.
I appreciate that.
All right. Well, I think this might be a great time for us to transition into Danny's Quick Takes. If you are new to our podcast, Danny's Quick Takes is a rapid fire situation where Danny asks our guests 5 questions. You're gonna have 45 seconds to answer them. He put on the glasses. Wow, what the hell is going on?
Change
All
the
right,
glasses. It's time for quick takes. I'm ready. All right.
Quick takes.
You see, Kyron got the pictures from years ago for both. I see.
Bruh, that's all I can find on the internet while I Google you guys. All right.
All right. So I'm gonna ask you 5 questions, and off the top of your head, you got 45 seconds to answer them. These are just things that observances that I may have found while I was stalking you on social media this past week. Things that I would just like your opinion on. All right. So number 1, this is a nice and easy one. Okay. What is the worst kind of tweet when it comes to comics, and why?
The worst kind of what?
Tweet.
Oh, the worst kind of tweet?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a good question. The worst kind of tweets are the Batman takes.
Why is that?
Because we know what this is. Batman fans, they think that Batman could just beat anybody, and they feel like they don't have to explain why. Like he could just win, and I'm like, no, that's not how this works.
Prep time.
Wait, are we saying so that comic I read where Batman took out Darkseid? That's not real?
I
That's
Things
prep
like
time.
that. Yeah.
He had prep time though.
The late 90s and the early 2000s, like really overhyped Batman. Like every like Justice League cartoon, all of the DC animated movies, they made Batman seem like that was just his time. So okay, number 2. And I think I might know the answer to this question. But you've been paying attention to the Hellfire Gala, right? The costumes that they've been dropping, right? Who do you think has had the best Hellfire Gala drip so far?
Who's had the best Hellfire drip? Best
Yeah.
it's got to be Doom. It's Doom. Like,
That,
did you see that? I thought that was MF Doom for a little bit. I was like, wow, did he come back?
That cape, the cape with the hood. I was like, okay, that's fresh.
Yeah, you know, him and Sinister gotta have a cape off. Like,
Yeah.
like who got the best cape?
I did like the Spider-Man one too, though. I saw somebody put up a Spider-Man.
Which Spider-Man is that though?
I don't know.
Is it Pete?
That's a good question.
Wait,
It's
I
gotta
can
be
see the
Miles.
Spider-Man one. Somebody's got to that one.
Yeah, that was a good one too, though. Okay, question number 3. Now I've seen your tagline that I see you post all the time is that read comics. Tell us where
don't.
that came from, and do you even read comics?
Oh man, you guys are. Oh come on, man. I feel like people are gonna take this. Okay, so I'll be real. You know, people like to talk about comics online, and I would talk about comics, and people would talk to me like I don't read comics, and I'm like, fam, like I was reading comics probably before you guys were born. Like, do y'all know how old I am? And I've been doing this for so long, and so it started as a joke. And then I would just tell people, yeah, you're right, I don't read comics, bro. I don't, you're right. Like, dudes wanted to argue about it. And so then my fans and followers started rolling with that. Like, yeah, he doesn't read comics. Yeah, leave him alone. He doesn't read comics. And it just blew up to a thing.
It's so crazy.
Now let me ask real quick and to interrupt your quick takes. Is it true that you actually helped Marvel with one of like source books back in the day? Is that true?
If I did what? I'm sorry?
Helped Marvel with one of their source books?
Yes. When I worked at Empire's Comics, one of the editors lived here in Sacramento, and he would come by and ask for assistance with things. And I would do it, and I wish I charged them. But yeah, that was something I did help do.
There we go.
Gotta charge people, man.
Man,
Gotta
people are going to
charge
watch this, and they're like, you see? He does read comics.
people. Hilarious.
Yeah, Brad Arnie said I'm assuming Brad said he just ordered your books a couple weeks ago because he saw them on Instagram. So there you go.
See, Instagram is working. Instagram is
There
working.
you go. All right. Did we lose him? He looks frozen. Oh,
No, I see him. I see he's good.
Okay.
All right. So question number 4. We got 2. And I asked this question to a lot of indie creators. I just want to see what your thoughts are. Which one do you prefer if somebody were to do one of these 2 things for your comic book or your characters, would appreciate more and why? Cosplay or fan art?
I would do cosplay. Definitely. I get fan art a lot. I've seen a lot for Ace Blade as well. I get one, fan art, but if someone to do a cosplay, that would be ill. That would be crazy to like actually see it come to life. And I've been actually trying to get that to happen. Not been the easiest thing, but that's something that I would definitely prefer would be the cosplay. Because some cosplayers be killing it. Like, they be looking better than the movies. Seriously.
If you had to choose one character to have cosplayed, who would it be?
Medic. Yeah, the character Medic. I've had a few people who was like, yo, if I dress like her, would that be okay? I'm like, absolutely.
Absolutely, it would be
Like,
okay.
yeah.
I would love that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think I love fan art. I ain't gonna lie. I love like just especially like when it's a surprise when somebody just pops up, somebody's drawing the character. I seriously love it. But there's in Atlanta named BJ who goes around the shows cosplayed as Ace Blade. You know, he like the first appearance of Ace Blade with the jeans, a purple t-shirt with a spade on it and a mat, you know what I'm saying? Like the very first appearance. And I'm like, yo, I love that so much because
Nice.
not only is he out there telling people about the character, people are coming and asking him, and it's just dope. It's just a dope thing.
Hey, you think you can
Hey,
get
Danny,
BJ
man,
to cosplay? You think you get
what's
BJ to
that?
cosplay as Ruby for me?
Cosplay of who?
My character Ruby from Planet Oz.
I don't think it's gonna work.
All right.
He's built wrong for that. I'll be honest with you.
All right.
Hey, Danny, man,
okay.
I'm jealous
Last
of
but
you,
not
bro.
least.
Because, real quick, Danny, you promote yourself, man. You got the colors.
Hey, gotta stay on brand.
No. You should hold like a master class, bro.
That's his TikTok is his master class. He gives a bunch of advice there.
That's dope, bro.
Ooh, Javon, you're right. I do need somebody to actually cosplay a Starcore one day. That'd be dope.
Yeah, that would be dope. That would be legit dope. All right, last question, and I gotta see you answer this because as a writer creator, I'd like to people's thoughts on their own comics. So I'm gonna ask you a question that you've been in the world, and you give me the answer. Okay, what if you had the power to save the world, but to do so, you would have to break the law? To do the right thing, what is the right?
One of my favorite sayings is sometimes to do the wrong thing to do is the right thing to do. Just to go off of, No Way Home, one of my favorite moments was when Peter decided to save the villains, and one of them says, "Man, you could have left us to die." And he was like, that's not what I do. I'm a hero. That's what I do. So to me, that's what heroes do. And let's be real, most of these heroes are breaking the law. Like, vigilantism is not, legal. It's not something you can just do. So, yeah, definitely, I would break the law.
Absolutely. We talked about that on our there's another show that I do called Top 5 Live, and last week we did Top 5 Villains. And one of my top villain was Dexter from the Dexter series, Dexter Morgan, because even though he thinks he's doing the right thing, dude is a serial killer. Like, he's not a good guy. Like, that's the conversation that we have a lot also. So I appreciate that.
Thank you, man. It reminds me of Punisher. That's one of my biggest issues is when people tell me their favorite superhero is Punisher, and I'm like, Punisher's not a superhero, right? Punisher is more villain than anything, because he is just straight murdering people.
Yeah. No qualms.
But he will be the one to tell you he's not a hero either. Mm-hmm. One of my favorite comic moments was when he was walking down the street and someone was going to attack a girl, and of course he just kills the guy, and the girl says, "Thank you so very much," and he says, "For what?" Like, what did I do? And she was like, "For saving my life," and he was like, "Oh, okay." Like, he was just like, "Oh, whatever, like, this is just what I do. I'm not a hero."
Right. Exactly.
Well, that was Danny's Quick Takes. This week it's brought to you by my comic book, Starcore. If you haven't checked out the Kickstarter, please do go to tccreates.com. There is still 7 days available. Yes, I am using this time to promote my comic book, so don't give me that look, Downey.
Hey, you gotta do it, bro.
I do. We just funded, so we're gonna look into stretch goals possibly. We got a week. Actually, literally a week from right now. So go to tccrates.com, get your book, make a pledge, help me out, and help me get some more money because my wife is killing me.
The struggle. This is the part people don't know. They don't see this.
Bro, this is the 11th comic book I've produced, and I'm still like, I thought by now it'd be easier. I thought by now it just fan base funded, but There's still a struggle, but it is better. I'm not funding to last moment like I was in the beginning, but it's still a struggle. Even after all these years, it's still a struggle.
Yeah, still always.
Yeah, I think that what you guys do, it's good to tell people up and comers about this stuff. One of the things I tell people is that if you're doing this to make money, you have to love what. Yeah, Danny knows what I'm talking about. Like they'll see the Kickstarter money, they're like, "Wow, you guys made this much." It's like it goes right back into the craft.
Yeah,
Like to the point where
that does not go into our
into
pockets.
like the time you put into it isn't the math ain't mathing for like
At
how
all.
much you're making. So you have to do it because you love it. And if the money comes soon, cool. But that shouldn't be the end goal.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, this has been a great interview, Corey. We appreciate you being on. Where can people?
I got one more
you got
question.
one more?
I got one
my
more
bad.
question.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
All right.
Because
I'll shut up.
I learned a little bit about you, and I just wanted to ask a question because it might be relevant, make an experience. So I learned that you are bilingual. Is that right?
Muy poquito. I am with a Latina wife.
Okay.
And when I got, she had 2 kids, and they speak Spanish good. And so I pretty much had to learn it to communicate better with them, mostly for when she gets mad and curses me out, and I know what she says. Because if you know anything about Latino women, when they get mad, they will burst out the Spanish. It'll just come out. And I'm like, I don't know what she's saying. So I started to learn. I'm like, oh, she is cursing me out. She is calling me everything in the book. She's putting my name in everything but a prayer.
Oh man.
But that's just what. So
Hey.
yeah, I mean, I'm not 100% fluent, but it is something that I'm learning, and I'm taking classes on it. Just to help be a better husband and communicate with my family.
That's what it's all about, man. Being a better husband and being a better communicator, man. Props to you, bro. All right, let Kyron close out the show now. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Salute.
All right, Corey. Where can people check out your work, buy your books, find you online?
Before I say this, I got beef with you too. Y'all are really doing this shit. Like my man got the purple hat with the shirt. You got the website and your comic in the back. I'm in a car. What kind of shit is this? I should be messing with y'all, man. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I just did the Crocker Museum and I was on the panel. Goddamn, I didn't even know it was there. Like, what?
You got to be more involved.
Messed up.
Hey,
I need to be fucking with y'all. Yeah, leaders of the free world. Oh man, I'm trying to get like, trust me. I probably said it, but I've been looking at this nigga Ace Blade, Danny Quick. I'm like, this mother, he's doing it all. TikTok, I'm too scared. I'm like, they don't want to see my ugly ass. Hey, my man got a website. Yeah, you can find me at Taurus Comics. I ain't got none of that shit. I gotta step it 100%. I could say I need to do better at this part, and you guys have definitely inspired me. You can find me, Google Leaders of the Free World. Everything will pull up. You can follow me on Twitter, Up to Task, and I have my own podcast, Super Suit Show. We got to have you guys on the show. We definitely support indie creators. And Taurus, hey man, kind of since you should just come out. Like we'll have you on the show, like physically, like you can just be right there with us. So
cool.
That would be dope. And get everyone in there. And yeah, that's where everyone can find me. Also at Up to Task on Twitter.
Nice. All right, Danny, where can people find you?
If you want to find me, the best place is the website, fourthwallpros.com. And then on social media, it's at the Ace Blade. Where can people find you, Kyron?
Well, like Corey said, you can find me at tauruscomics.com. You can go on Twitter or Instagram at tauruscomics. And if this is your first time checking out the Four Tales podcast, please go back, check out our other episodes. They are on YouTube and on Spotify and all the other podcast hosting platforms. Just search the number 4 TALES podcast. That is the number 4 TALES podcast. But join us next week, because we do have an episode next week, where we are going to have Melissa White, writer of Nightmare Vessel and editor of Scout Comics, on the show. She's going to be the first of a slew of female creators that we're going to have, because it's been a long time coming of us having some female creators on there. So we're going to have about the next month or so, just all female creators. So join us in. But until next time, everybody, sayonara, goodbye, and please take care of yourselves.
Peace.
Music provided by my brother, Quix Made It. Find him online in YouTube, Instagram, and SoundCloud.
I want to know what it is Quick is trying to say.
All right. Oh, dang, he bounced. All right, I lied. It's actually not next week. Our episode is not for 2 weeks from now.
I actually won't be for 2 weeks. I thought I told you that, but I might have. Next weekend
Okay.
next Saturday I got a show in Greensboro, and then the weekend after that is HBC UConn. So I will not be.
You told me, you did tell me about that, but you said you would be here. You said you'll make it work out. So you lied to me.
Hold on. Let me, because they just sent the schedule last night. Let me look at it real quick, because if it doesn't start until.
All right, well, I'm gonna end the stream. So later, everybody.